Hey guys, welcome to Tea for Two. Today we're going to be making a recipe that every baker should know, the classic chocolate chip and walnut cookie. Let's have a quick look through our ingredients. Of course we'll need the staple baking ingredients, 110 grams of room temperature butter, 70 grams of white caster sugar and 80 grams of brown sugar, a medium egg at room temperature, half a teaspoon of vanilla, 160 grams of bread flour, and half a teaspoon of salt, which I forgot to show in the video. Then, to add a bit of chew to the cookie, we're also adding a quarter teaspoon of baking soda, and finally, of course, we need 100 grams of dark chocolate chips and 100 grams of walnuts. If you're interested in the full written recipe, I've included a link to it in the description box below, so feel free to go check that out. Okay, so now we have all our ingredients, let's start baking. To start, we're going to preheat the convection oven to 170 degrees Celsius. And then in a mixing bowl, we're going to add our room temperature butter and beat it with a whisk until it becomes paler. As any baker will tell you, if you have access to unsalted butter, that's the one you'll want to use, because it'll give you complete control over how much salt is added. However, if like in my case, you don't have any unsalted butter on hand, it's fine to use salted. Just remember to omit the additional salt later in the recipe. Once we have a loosened, paler butter, we can add in both types of sugar and cream everything together for a couple of minutes. While in theory you can opt to use only white or brown sugar, this will change the overall texture of the cookie, whereas using both kinds results in a cookie that is crisp on the outside and soft and chewy on the inside. Anyway, once the butter and sugar is combined, we can crack one egg into a separate bowl, add our vanilla of choice and lightly whisk it together before adding it to our butter-sugar mixture. Beat all of this together for about a minute or until we're left with a creamy, fluffy mixture. At this stage, we want to add the baking soda and salt to our flour and then sift it into our mixture in 1 or 2 parts. Mix until half the flour has been combined. Finally, chop the walnuts and add those and the chocolate chips to our dough and give it all one final mix together. One batch makes around 9 cookies, so we want to spoon out portions of dough weighing around 70 grams each and roll them into balls. These go straight onto a lined baking tray where we can flatten them slightly and add any final decorations. If you find that the dough has become very soft to the point of melting, then you might want to pop the whole tray into the fridge for around 5 to 10 minutes to help them firm up a little. If the dough is too soft when you bake them, they will spread quite a lot in the oven. Bake the cookies for around 15 minutes until golden brown and let them cool slightly on the tray so that they harden up a bit and can be transferred to a wire rack. And that's it! Classic chocolate chip cookies, best served with an ice cold glass of milk. The great thing about this recipe is you can freeze the portioned dough, so whenever you need it, you can just pop a couple into the oven and bake them straight from frozen. I hope you enjoyed the first video of this channel, and if you do give this recipe a shot, feel free to tag us on Instagram so we can see how you guys get along. Thank you so much for being here for the beginning of our channel's journey, and we really hope you'll join us again next time as we bring you more recipes that make a perfect tea for two.